Today we are looking at how you can use the parallel function calling with the Assistants API. And to be honest, I did not realize fully how powerful and dynamic this is before I created this video. So you definitely don't want to miss out on this one. So I think we're just gonna go over to the flowchart and start off there. So this was kind of my attempt of explaining this as easy as I could. So basically we start with the user writing in a query. So it could be like, find the best pizza place in New York and the weather. So this kind of asks for two different things, right? And now the assistant has to call the function it thinks we will need to execute to fulfill this query. So you can see here, we kind of have four available functions. We have the weather API, GPT-4, Google search, and DALL-E 3. And for this query, of course, we need the weather API. And to find the best pizza place, a Google search would do, right? So now we can do this in parallel. You see, I kind of put this up here, as we'll see soon. It doesn't have to be like, it first searches for the pizza place, and then it searches for the weather. We can do this simultaneously. So you can see these functions will need to be executed simultaneously. So that's good, because we save time, right? And then the response from those functions will be collected and passed on from the assistant to the user. So basically, I hope you kind of understood this. This is very simplified, but it's not much more to say, really. I think we're just gonna go straight to an example, and then we go back to the code a bit, and then we do more examples so you kind of get the grasp of this. And we can really see how functional and dynamic this is, right? So just to show you how this works now, let's just enter our message. So we're just gonna go with the find the best pizza place in New York and the weather. So I just hit enter. So this is kind of the user query, right? And now the assistant is gonna look at the functions we have. And you can see we use something called tool calls here. So you can see we are gonna search for best pizza place in New York. And we're gonna use the get organic result. That's a Google search. And we're gonna search for New York and get weather. So here the assistant picked out kind of the functions we need to execute on this user query. And here we got the results back. That was quite quick, right? So you can see we have 4 different links here. And as for the weather in New York, the temperature is at 0.3 Celsius with clear sky. It sounds like a good time to enjoy pizza indoors. That was a bit funny. So we can click on these links. Okay, where to find the iconic pizzas. Let's try this one. Okay, 29 best pizza places in New York. So this clearly works, right? So you can kind of see how simple this was to set up. And it's very dynamic because it adjusts what the user types in, looks for what functions can we use, and you can see here it runs them in like parallel. So it doesn't do it in a series, it just goes and does everything at once. It can even call like Google with the Google function 2 times, if that's the best solution, right? So I just thought it was good to start off with this example so you kind of get the grasp of what the code is gonna do. So I think we're gonna head over to the Python code now and try to explain a bit what is happening. And then we're gonna do more examples because we can create images, we can do other cool stuff too. So yeah, let's hop over to the Python code. Okay, so like I mentioned, we have 4 different functions, right? So you can see the first one here. This is basically just DALL-E 3. We can call this to generate an image. Here's the get weather function. This is just a free API we can use. Open weather map. Here is the function to use Google search. This is from SERP API. And here you can see we have get chat response. Here we actually can call GPT-4 to help us write stuff. So you're a helpful assistant, help the user with writing. So this is, we can kind of call GPT-4 inside GPT-4, if you know what I mean. And we can set our own system message for this. So that is basically why I put that in. And here we have the tools. So this is a list of tools we have available. We know this now. These are the 4 functions. So Google search, DALL-E, and get the weather, and get chat response. So these are the tools that are available for the assistant, right? And the first step is to, of course, create assistant. We gave it a name, parallel function. We gave it like some instructions. So you're an assistant capable of fetching news articles. I could have said capable of searching Google, right? I think that's better. generating images, providing weather, writing based on user queries. And here we select the newest model. Tools equals list tools. And I just added some colors because that's better, easier to see. We need to start a thread. So this is from the Assistants API documentations. We start a thread. We need to add a message to the thread. So this is kind of the user input. So the enter message part, right? And then we need to run it. So we're just gonna run the assistant. So I think I put up like a small flow chart of this. Let me just quickly show you. Okay, so I don't know how good you can see this, but kind of I wanted to. So you can see import libraries, read the files, and here we come to the run assistant. So it's gonna monitor the run status, and if the run is completed, then we're gonna retrieve and print the response from the assistant. But if it's not completed, if the run requires an action, this is kind of executing the functions, right? So it first has to identify what actions needs to be taken. So this could be doing a Google search, creating an image, and it's going to submit the outputs from the tools we used, right? So of course, all these action has to be completed before the run is complete. And if the assistant is processing, we're just gonna wait and print this, waiting for assistant to process, and we gotta continue monitoring. So this has to be completed before we kind of get to this output. So we just keep monitoring until the assistant has executed all the functions we required, and then kind of the script or the true loop breaks and we get the response. So this is a bit annoying, I know that, but I don't know how else to explain this. Yeah, and like I said, this is just gonna monitor until we are kind of ready to print the output. I put this to yellow here from the assistant. But the interesting thing is that we can add loads of functions here. I haven't checked how many, but I think we can add much more. And then you can kind of begin to see how dynamic this can be. Let's say we add, like a code function. I guess we have that with GPT-4. I don't have anything on my mind right now, but let's say we add 10 more functions. Then we can get really dynamic. So we are definitely gonna try that out someday. But today I think these are fine. So I think we're just gonna run a few more examples now. Try to trigger all the functions at the same time, test some different stuff. And yeah, just to see how we end up. And you can kind of see how dynamic this is gonna be now. Okay, so let's start off by trying to trigger all the 4 functions. So hello, I am traveling to LA. I need the weather, an image of the Hollywood sign, best sushi place, and write an email from Chris to Julie telling her about LA. Okay, so this like has the opportunity now to call the weather function, the DAL E3 function, the Google search function, and like the GPT-4 function if it needs to. It also has the ability to write with just the assistant, so it doesn't have to call the GPT-4 function. We'll see. Okay, that was pretty quick. So you can see here requires action. So all of these are in parallel. So we're gonna tool calls. We're gonna search for LA. That is gonna be for the weather. Yeah, that's good. Hollywood sign in LA with clear blue sky in the background. That is gonna be the DALL-E function. That's good. Google search function. Best sushi place in LA. Okay, so we didn't actually call the GPT-4 function, but I think the assistant has the opportunity to write also, so they could just solve it that way. So let's just this process and check out the results. Okay, that wasn't too long, maybe 30-40 seconds. Here's the information you need for a trip to LA. Weather, as of now, the weather is clear skies, 11 degrees Celsius. Here is an image of the Hollywood sign. Hollywood misses an L, but I guess it's an image. All right. And here is the best sushi places in LA. So we can LA Eater. Okay, the 20 essential sushi restaurants in LA. We get a map, Hollywoodland Hills. Okay, pretty cool. And yeah, we got some other suggestions too. Lastly, let's craft an email from Chris to Julie. I hope this email finds you well. I couldn't wait to tell you about the fascinating aura of LA. The weather here is generously clear skies with almost every day. Okay, so it didn't mention the temperature. I've additionally included some exceptional culinary experiences, particularly with sushi. So it kind of takes off from the other searches we did and try to incorporate that into the mail. That's pretty cool. LA boasts an array of sushi joints ranging from cozy nooks to high-end establishments. Looking forward to sharing more stories once I'm back. Warm regards, Chris. Alright, I guess this was kind of perfect. It did everything we asked for, right? It wrote the email, find the sushi places, sign, and the weather. Pretty good, pretty good. Now let me try to call like multiple functions. So let me just clear this. So let's go with I am going to Paris. Create an image of the 3 most popular tourist attractions. So of course it's gonna call the Dolly function. Maybe it's gonna call a Google function. I'm not quite sure. So let's just see here. Okay, so it's gonna call the Dolly function once, twice. Okay, so it's just gonna call it 3 times. So the first is gonna be the Eiffel Towers in Paris, the Louvre Museum in Paris. Okay, good. And the Notre Dame de Paris front view. All right, this looks pretty good. So this will get the 3 most popular tourist attractions. So I guess you kind of already knew that from the GPT-4 engine it's running on, right? So let's just let this run and check out these 3 images. Okay, so here we have the images, the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, and the Cathedral. So let's have a look at them. Okay, here's the Eiffel Tower, beautiful. The museum. Huh, that didn't work, that was strange. And the Cathedral. Okay, so something wrong with but I guess kind of shows out what you can do. That was a bit strange. But let's just remove this. Okay. So yeah, you can see it can create 3 images at the same time. And it didn't take too long. I would say like 30 seconds, maybe a bit more. Let's try something else. I am doing some research on London, aka the year 1600. Can you write 2 paragraphs about the most important happenings? Also include some images for my piece. So here I don't specifically tell it how many images I want. I haven't tried this, so let's just see what happens. So first we're gonna check out what kind of functions it's gonna call here. Of course it's gonna be the Dolly function, and it's gonna be the Dolly function. That's about it. Okay, so it's gonna do the internal writing here with GPT-4. Alright, we got something here. In the year 1600, London was experiencing a period of growth and cultural flourish. Queen Elizabeth I, William Shakespeare, and Christopher Marlowe captivated audience in the Globe Theatre and other venues. Okay, yeah, and it goes, yeah, it writes some pretty good stuff about London here from the year 1600. And here is kind of the image. So this is showcasing the bustling cityscape, the Globe Theatre and the River Thames. Alright, so this is the Globe, I guess. Yeah, that's not too bad. Pretty cool. Alright, so that was pretty successful if you ask me. Let's try one more thing. I need the coordinates to the biggest settlement in Antarctica, the weather and an image of the settlement. Also search Google if they sell pizza there. I couldn't make up anything else. So let's see what happens here. So we're gonna call the weather McMurdo Station. Okay, so it figured that out, of course. McMurdo Station, the largest settlement in Antarctica. That is our prompt for Dolly. Pizza sale at McMurdo Station, Antarctica. We're gonna search Google for that. Alright, let's hope they have some pizza there. The largest settlement in Antarctica is McMurdo Station. Here are the details we requested. So we get the coordinates. Yeah, that looks good. We could have searched those up, but I'm gonna trust it. The temperature now is minus 17 degrees. Here's an image of it. Alright. I can't confirm or deny. And what about the pizza? What is this? McMurdo Pizza. I don't know. I don't know what this is. I think we're just gonna leave that for now. But at least it tried, I guess. Was there any other links? Let's try this one. Okay, so here is the station. So here it is, and here is the image. Oh, not bad. That's not too bad. But I don't think there's any pizza there. But that's fine. Okay, so I think we're gonna call it there. Of course, I didn't kind of showcase the best use cases for this. Today, I just wanted to show you kind of how dynamic this is. And I found it really interesting. Like, I haven't really wrapped my head around how dynamic this is. I know I said dynamic loads of times in this video, but that is the best word I could find for this. And it can kind of adapt to what kind of functions you have. So it kind of gets very good at using tools. And yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, how functional this is. That's another word. But like I said before, if you want to try this out yourself, you can just support me by becoming a member in the link below. And I will give you access to the GitHub. You can download the code, or you can just look at mine and try to copy it. That's fine too. I'm just here to kind of give you some ideas. And I also want, if you have any great use cases for this, please leave a comment and I can try it out. Because I haven't really explored that yet. So many people, people what? 1, 2, 3. So I haven't really explored that yet. But I think that's it for today. Like I said, really happy with this, and I'm definitely gonna explore it more. So look out for that. Have a great day, and I see you again. Yeah, probably on Sunday, maybe before.